and make and pray and see, guys, Lord, if there's one, if there's two, if there's five. I believe because of the remnant that's here, and I mean remnant, I'm talking about those that are born again. That, you know, we have pastors that are planting churches. You know, I've planted this Bethlehem. I'm planting another one in Watertown, and I plan on doing one more. And we have missionaries over the field. We're preaching the gospel, seeing people saved, and the gospel's getting out. I think because of that, that's why America is free. Take that away, America's doomed. We're doomed in two ways. You take away our religious freedom, we're doomed. And you go against Israel, we're doomed. We're doomed also. But never forget, Satan uses society. He has corrupted the hearts and the minds of people who make the laws and rulers of men. Never forget that. And it shouldn't surprise us when we see a ruler. I'll say, what's wrong with that guy? What happened to him? Satan got a hold of him. That's what happened. Got a hold of his mind, his heart, and it's changed the person. Satan is a master at that. When I get back off the holidays, I've been preaching a series on spiritual warfare at Bethlehem. Boy, it's been powerful. I tell you, we've been going through spiritual warfare like crazy. And I got about 5 or 6 more messages on that. And we're in a war, people. And Satan is out to destroy us. We need to learn how to put on the armor of God and keep it on. And because he's out to destroy. Never forget, Satan uses organizations. He uses governments. He'll use any of man's system to corrupt it. He will. Never forget that. Yeah, Mike.
I was just reading this morning how the Boy Scouts now are letting in homosexuals.
Yep.
And the churches, which are 70% of the Boy Scouts,
yeah,
distance themselves from it. And people are saying, well, the churches need to change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Churches need to change. Not this one. Go ahead.
I just heard on the news the other day, the Rose Parade on New Year's Day. There's going to be a float, and there's going to be a marriage performed on there on same-sex marriage.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm not watching it.
Well, yeah.
I used to, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
Sad.
Remember, people, we must realize that we cannot be attached to the system of this world because it's full of corruption. We have to work in it, but we're not part of it. Amen? Right. Take a stand on your jobs. Take a stand, man.
We can shine.
We can
shine.
We can shine as lights. Never be afraid of your faith. You know, now don't misunderstand me here. Your boss didn't pay you to witness. He paid you to work. But you can witness on your break time. You can witness on your lunch time. That's what I always did when I worked a secular job. On the break time, when I worked for FAFTA Bearing Corporation for a guy called me to preach in New Britain, and employed about 4,000 people that time, 8 floors. I'd get there early, and I'd go into every bathroom on all 8 floors and plant tracts. And during lunchtime, I'd witness. They didn't like me. They hated what I stood for. But it was always interesting when people had problems. Guess who they came to? Right. They came to the guy who knew the Lord. Okay, so don't be afraid. And sometimes it might be a challenge. I was challenged. When I got hired, I told my boss, I will not work Sunday. Right on the application, I do not work Sundays. I'm in the house of God on Sundays. He hired me anyway, so one day there's a notice on the board, everybody has to work Sunday. He says, you will be here. I said, no, I won't. Well, if you don't show up, you don't have a job. I said, I guess I don't have a job. So I won't be here. Yes, you will. No, I won't. Went to church, didn't worry about a thing. Had a good time worshiping, fellowshipping with believers. Went in Monday morning, punched in. Boss came by. How you doing, Dwayne? Good. How are you, sir? Doing good. He walked away. Didn't do nothing. All right. So take a stand. The government's wicked. Society's wicked. We have to live in it, but yet we can be lights in that. Amen? Yes. All right. Remember, the world is full of sinful people who are evil and full of lust and pride. It is full of people who are in rebellion against God. Never forget that. Do not love this sinful system of the world. Do not love it. There's nothing there to love. Besides, we got a better world waiting for us. Amen in heaven. And also during that millennial reign. That's going to be nice too. Reign with Jesus 1,000 years. That's going to be nice too. So never forget that. Here's the point I want to make. How does a believer live free from sin? How does he conquer life victoriously over sin? By knowing that the world is in opposition of God, that it lies under the power of the wicked one. When the believer knows this, then he knows that he must not touch the world, get involved with the world, be separate from the world, and live for God, and we'll be what? Fine. That's how we live in the world. That's how we live. Now, look at John. Somebody find John 15:19. John 15:19. Who wants that one? Okay, you do? Okay. And then Acts chapter 20 and verse 40. Who wants that one? Anybody? Okay. Romans 12, 1 and 2. Who wants that one? Okay. Ephesians 5:11. Who wants that one?
I'll take it.
Okay. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 6. Who wants that one?
I'll take it.
Okay. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 6. All right. John 15:19. Read it out loud.
If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Yeah. So why does the world hate us?
Because we're not of it.
Because we're not of it. See, according to that verse, because we're not of it. So don't be surprised if somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, I'm tired of you and you're Jesus, and oh, okay. Nope, God bless you too, and move on. Yeah, there you go. You know? Expect it. Expect it, people. It's going to happen. The world does not like our Jesus. Hey, by the way, did you like Jesus before you got saved? No, we didn't. I didn't. Someone mentioned Jesus to me, I get angry and mad.
Plus it was a swear word.
Plus it was a swear word, yeah.
Yeah.
Acts 2:40. Yeah, Acts 2:40.
We're getting there.
It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
Okay, and with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation.
Yeah. Yep. Save yourselves from this untoward generation. Good verse. Of course, Romans 12, 1 and 2, probably many of you got it memorized. Who's got that one? Romans 12, 1 and 2. Okay.
And beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Do not conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Amen. Amen. Those two verses says one thing. There's a lot in those. I could preach 10 messages easy on that. I could spend a month on that verse. But you know what's interesting about that verse? I find intriguing. If you're not close to Jesus, and if you're in the world, you'll never find God's will. Never. The good, acceptable will of God is those persons who keep themselves separate from the world. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to live for the world and I'm going to be intrigued by it, then you'll never find God's will. Never. You'll never find it.
It just shows you how Satan gets into the churches and how leaders are now saying they don't know God's will. And they're following these leaders who don't know God's will.
Yeah.
I just think of Rick Warren for one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really gone down the wrong path, Rick Warren. I hope you don't follow him because he doesn't even preach the gospel anymore. And that's a sad thing. When we first started out, but you got to be careful with people like that. They get big and big and big and big and big, and they begin to compromise their doctrine, okay? Rick Warren is a Norman Vincent Peale, Robert Schuller disciple. Never forget that. You say, Pastor, you